3 miles off the coast of the Levant, a wall of stone rises straight out of the sea. It is 850 BC, and Tyre does not greet the morning like other cities. It confronts it. Waves crash against its fortifications. Wind tears across the harbor. Salt clings to your skin before the sun has fully cleared the horizon. But the first thing you notice is not the view. It is the smell. The air is thick with boiling dye, wet rope, smoke, ash, tar, fish, and rotting shells left to bake in the heat. To a stranger, it would feel unbearable. To you, it smells like money. It smells like power. It smells like a city so rich that kings across the Mediterranean will pay almost anything for what is made here. You stand above the harbor as a merchant of Tyre. Born into a world that does not rule through marching armies or vast fields of grain. Your strength lives on the water. Other kingdoms trust walls, chariots, and river valleys. Your people trust currents, stars, timber, cargo, and memory. You belong to a civilization that has learned how to turn the sea itself into a road. The Greeks will one day call your people Phoenicians, the purple people. But that is not the name you use for yourself. You are a son of Tyre, a child of Canaan, and this island is more than a city. It is a machine built for trade. Every dock, every workshop, every sail, and every ledger serves one purpose: to move rare things farther, faster, and more profitably than anyone else alive. From here, the ancient world looks different. Empires on land seem slow. Borders seem temporary. Armies seem clumsy. Because standing on these walls, breathing in the foul perfume of industry and empire, you already understand a truth the rest of the world has barely begun to learn. Whoever masters the sea does not simply reach distant kingdoms. He enters them without asking. In the empires of the ancient Near East, greatness is usually measured in acres, tribute, and the number of men a king can force into battle. That is why Tyre confuses outsiders. Your city does not spread endlessly across a river plain. It does not thunder across borders with chariots. It rises from an island, narrow, crowded, and exposed to the moods of the sea. Yet, from this hard rock, your people project influence far beyond the reach of larger kingdoms. You are not poor fishermen surviving on the edge of stronger civilizations. You are specialists in movement. Egypt may command the Nile. Assyria may terrify whole regions with siege engines and marching columns. But Tyre has discovered something different. Power does not always belong to the state with the biggest army. Sometimes it belongs to the people who know how to carry timber, metals, glass, textiles, stories, and promises from one shore to another without losing them to wind, pirates, or distance. That is the true shape of your civilization. It is not a land empire, it is a network, a chain of harbors, a memory of safe anchorages, a set of winds learned over generations. A web of merchants who speak to strangers, bargain across languages, and return with wealth that can be measured not only in silver, but in access. Access to ports, access to rulers, access to goods other kingdoms cannot produce for themselves. This is why Tyre matters. It stands at the hinge of worlds. Behind you lie the cedar mountains of Lebanon and the old cities of the Levant. Ahead of you stretch Cyprus, Egypt, Greece, North Africa, Sicily, Iberia, and waters most sailors still fear. Your people do not need to own every coast they touch. They only need to become necessary to it. And that necessity begins with a product so rare, so laborious, and so expensive that rulers will drape it over their bodies to prove they stand above ordinary humanity. At the edge of the island, wealth begins in filth. Below the walls, the industrial quarter is already awake before sunrise. Men wade through the shallows dragging heavy nets that glitter with spiny shells. Women sort them into baskets while boys carry loads toward the dye works. These creatures are small, ugly, and easy to overlook. Yet almost every fortune in Tyre depends on them. They are murex sea snails, the source of the most desired color in the ancient world. Your city guards their transformation with the jealousy of a king protecting treasure. The process is slow, disgusting, and ruinously expensive. First, the shells are broken open one by one. Then workers dig out a tiny gland hidden deep inside the animal. That gland is so small it seems absurd that empires should care about it at all. But thousands upon thousands of them are gathered, crushed, salted, dried and boiled in great vats beneath the Levantine sun. The smell is unbearable. Flesh rots. Smoke burns your eyes. The mixture thickens and darkens as it cooks. What begins pale turns green, then red, then something far richer than either. By the time the dye is ready, it has become the color that made Tyre feared and admired across the sea. A deep, bruised purple that seems to hold both blood and royalty inside it. This is no ordinary pigment. It does not fade like common dyes. It grows more vivid with age and light. A robe treated in these vats becomes more than clothing. It becomes a declaration. Pharaohs want it. Priests want it. Kings want it. Chiefs who rule from wooden halls want it. Whoever wears this color announces to the world that ordinary wealth is beneath him. And that is why Tyre prospers. You are not merely exporting fabric. You are exporting prestige. You are taking something foul, hidden, and laborious, and turning it into a symbol of divine status. Others conquer with bronze and iron. Your city conquers desire. In Tyre, the harbor is as sacred as any temple. By mid-morning, the waterfront is roaring with labor. Porters bend beneath sacks of grain and baskets of shellfish. Carpenters hammer planks into hulls. Sailmakers stretch heavy linen across wooden frames. Ropes creak. Oars knock against piers. Traders shout prices in several languages while scribes, guards, and dock workers move through the confusion with practiced speed. Nothing here is accidental. Every sound belongs to a system refined over generations. The island is protected by two great harbors, one facing north, the other south, allowing Tyre to function when winds shift and weather turns. That advantage alone makes this city formidable. A port closed by the wrong wind loses silver every hour. Tyre built itself to keep trade alive in changing conditions, and in commerce reliability is its own kind of power. Below you lies the true engine of the city, the merchant fleet. The cargo ships are broad-bellied, deep-hulled, and built to carry value across long distances. Their frames are cut from the cedars of Lebanon, tall, straight timber prized across the ancient world for strength, size, and resistance to decay. Even before they are loaded, these ships look expensive. At the prow, carved horse heads rise over the water, elegant and severe, marking them as vessels of Tyre. They are not warships built for glory in battle. They are something more patient and, in the long run, more dangerous. They carry contracts, tribute, timber, metal, dye, glass, and influence. Each hull is a moving storehouse, a wooden instrument designed to turn distance into profit. When a ship leaves this harbor, it carries more than cargo. It carries the reach of the city itself. Before departure, crews inspect everything with ritual seriousness. Water jars are sealed. Amphorae are wedged tight. Spare sailcloth is folded and stored. Steering oars are checked for cracks. The sea does not forgive haste, and Tyrian profit depends on surviving storms as much as securing buyers. Here in the harbor, commerce and seamanship are inseparable. A careless merchant becomes a poor merchant very quickly. step down into the hold, and the ship becomes a map of the known world. Nothing below deck comes from one place. That is the brilliance of Tyre. Your city sits on a small island, yet its ships gather the labor, resources, and artistry of continents that may never meet except inside these timber walls. Near the bow lie copper ingots from Cyprus, dull and heavy, stacked like sleeping bricks. Beside them are cedar beams from Lebanon, straight-grained and resin-rich, the finest timber a shipbuilder could ask for. Wrapped in padding are clear glass vessels whose smooth surfaces catch even the faintest light. There are carved ivories shaped by Egyptian taste and Levantine hands, jars of oil and wine, dyed textiles sealed against spray, and finely worked goods meant for courts that want luxury without knowing the labor behind it. A single voyage can carry mountain wood, island metal, coastal glass, African grain, and ideas borrowed from half a dozen peoples. This is why Tyre grows rich faster than kingdoms with more land. Your merchants do not simply move cargo from port to port. They combine, revalue, and redistribute it. They turn scattered materials into elite demand. Inside this hold, the Mediterranean is no longer a barrier between cultures. It is an active marketplace, compressed into a wooden belly and carried wherever the wind allows. And that creates a new kind of power. A king may control a valley. A conqueror may terrify a frontier. But the people of Tyre are learning how to connect worlds that were never meant to touch. And once that connection exists, everyone begins to depend on the city that makes it possible. In one corner of the hold, a wax-sealed ledger marks who owes what, where it must be delivered, and which harbor will pay the highest price. Trade here is not chaos. It is calculation, memory, timing, and trust made visible. And soon, as the sails rise and daylight fades, all of this wealth will leave the safety of the harbor and enter open water. By late afternoon, the harbor begins to change. The frantic loading slows. Shadows lengthen across the water. On most coasts of the ancient world, this is the hour when sailors grow cautious. They pull closer to land, search for shelter, and prepare to wait out the dark. The sea at night is a place of missing horizons, hidden reefs, and winds that can erase a ship without leaving a witness. But Tyre did not become rich by fearing what others feared. As the sun sinks, your crew loosens the mooring lines. Linen sails climb the mast. The hull groans, then shifts, then begins to answer the pull of water beneath it. Behind you, the island glows in the last light, its workshop smoking, its walls hard and bright against the sky. Ahead lies open sea, and with it the kind of risk that keeps lesser merchants hugging the coast. This is where Tyrian confidence becomes visible. You're not sailing from headland to headland, praying each inlet appears where memory says it should. You are leaving the shoreline behind on purpose. As dusk deepens, the coast fades into a dark line, then vanishes entirely. Soon, there is nothing left but wind in the rigging, the slap of waves on timber, and the rising weight of the sky. Every mile into darkness is a wager. Cargo can be lost, crews can panic. A change in weather can scatter certainty in minutes. Yet, this is precisely the gamble that gave your city its advantage. Others see the sea as a boundary. Tyre sees it as a corridor. Others stop when land disappears. You continue. On deck, no one wastes movement. A sail tension is adjusted by hand. Oars are secured. Eyes watch the horizon, though there is almost nothing to see. The crew knows that courage alone is not enough. Boldness without knowledge sinks ships, but Tyrian sailors possess something far more valuable than nerve. Once night fully arrives, they will reveal the quiet secret that lets them travel where others would never dare. night on the Mediterranean does not look empty to a Tyrian navigator. It looks organized. As the last red band of sunset disappears, the captain moves to the stern and lifts his eyes above the mast. Other sailors might search for the coastline or wait nervously for dawn. He searches for patterns. Not the bright dramatic constellations that catch the attention of poets, but quieter markers that hold steady when the sea and sky try to erase all direction. Above the dark water, near the northern pole of the heavens, a faint cluster of stars becomes the anchor of the voyage. Later, peoples will associate these lights with the Phoenicians, because your captains use them with such confidence that it seems almost supernatural, but there is nothing mystical about it. This is disciplined observation repeated across generations. It is astronomy turned into commerce. The man at the steering oar does not merely admire the ski while he reads it. The angle of the stars, the feel of the wind, the movement of the swells, even the rhythm of the ship beneath his feet all combine into one invisible chart. No roads are visible on the sea, yet Tyre has learned how to draw them anyway. That knowledge is worth more than bronze weapons, because it lets you travel farther with greater certainty than rivals who still creep from shore to shore. This changes everything. A merchant who can sail after dark shortens routes, avoids crowded coasts, expands his reach, and arrives with goods others cannot move reliably. The sea stops being a wall and becomes a highway reserved for the few who know how to read it. Around you, the crew works in low voices as the ship cuts westward through black water. Overhead, the stars remain cold and constant. Below, the hold is packed with wealth. Between them stands the Tyrian navigator, joining heaven and cargo with nothing but memory, nerve, and skill. That is the secret at the center of your civilization, the power to turn the night itself into an instrument of empire. After days at sea, a new coastline rises from the southern horizon, low, bright, and full of promise. This is Carthage, still young in 850 BC, not yet the mighty rival Rome will one day fear, but already a strategic outpost of Tyrian ambition. To arriving merchants, it feels less like a distant colony than an extension of home. The same speech echoes across the docks. The same habits of weighing, recording, bargaining, and loading shape the harbor. But here on the North African coast, the horizons are wider, and the opportunities are greater than anything an island city could contain alone. Carthage matters because no maritime empire can survive on one harbor. Ships need fresh water, repair timber, food, news, pilots, and safe places to exchange cargo. A network built only on courage will eventually fail. A network built on reliable stations can endure. That is what your people are creating across the sea. Not scattered adventures, but a chain of supply, memory, and mutual dependence. In the market, silver from Iberia changes hands in heavy pieces. Tin arrives from distant northern routes, precious, because bronze depends on it. Grain, hides, timber, tools, and textiles flow through the same space, each cargo tied to another destination farther away. Merchants who never see Tyre still live inside its commercial world. They price goods by its standards, trust ships bearing its symbols, and wait for the next convoy to bring both profit and information. That is the true scale of Phoenician power. Tyre is not merely exporting products, it is exporting infrastructure. It teaches ports how to function, how to coordinate, how to connect local wealth to international demand. And as you step back onto the quay, hearing sailors trade rumors of western coasts and richer lands beyond, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. The greatest thing moving through this network is not purple dye or silver. It is a way of organizing the world. In a shaded courtyard near the harbor, the most important exchange of the journey begins with something that barely seems valuable at all. No cedar beam glitters, No purple cloth shines, no silver bar changes hands. Instead, a Greek merchant unfolds a heavy writing tablet and prepares to record a contract the old way, through a script so cumbersome that writing itself feels like a form of labor. You watch him arrange the tools with care, and then you reach into your satchel and remove something lighter. A sheet of Egyptian papyrus, smooth, flexible, easy to carry across a sea. A reed pen follows, a small pot of ink. The Greek trader pauses. He expects an account. He does not expect efficiency. Then you begin to write, not pictures, not dozens upon dozens of specialist marks that only a trained scribe can master after years of instruction. You draw a small set of signs, quick and clean, each one standing for a sound, 22 symbols. No elaborate scenes, no sacred animal forms, no forest of wedges pressed into clay. Just a practical system built for speed, memory, and trade. This is the quiet technology hidden inside Tyrian commerce. Your people did not develop it to impress priests or decorate monuments. They shaped it because merchants cannot afford to drag a library into every negotiation. Cargo must be listed, debts must be marked, names, places, quantities, and promises must be recorded fast enough to keep business moving. The alphabet answers that problem with ruthless elegance. You point to the first sign and speak its sound, then the next. The Greek merchant leans closer. He traces the forms with his finger on the table as if testing whether something so simple can truly carry language. In that moment, the scale of the invention becomes clear. A person no longer needs a lifetime inside a scribal school to participate in written exchange. Writing can leave the palace. It can leave the temple. It can travel with the trader. The contract is finished. Goods are counted. Silver is weighed. Yet the most important thing transferred in this courtyard is not cedar, dye, or glass. It is the idea that speech itself can be broken into small, repeatable signs and carried anywhere. The Greeks will adapt these forms, add vowels, and turn them into letters that eventually help preserve epic poetry, philosophy, law, and memory. But here, in the heat of commerce, none of that future is visible. You are only closing a deal. And by doing so, you are quietly helping change the way human beings store thought. At sunset, you return to the deck and look west, beyond Carthage, beyond Sicily, beyond the narrow pillars that mark the edge of the familiar sea. The world opens into rumor, danger, and possibility. Most civilizations meet that uncertainty by building upward in stone. They carve victories into cliffs, raise statues over plazas, and leave behind monuments so heavy that time must struggle to erase them. Tyre chooses a different form of greatness. Your people leave fewer colossal ruins than emperors and conquerors, yet their impact runs deeper than many armies ever could. Their monuments are routes no mason can see, lanes across black water, habits of exchange between strangers, harbors taught to trust the arrival of foreign sails. Their wealth travels instead of standing still. Their influence survives in markets, contracts, ports, and alphabets passed from hand to hand. That is why this city matters so much. Tyre proved that civilization could expand without swallowing every neighboring field. It showed that a small island, armed with ships, nerve, and commercial discipline, could compress the Mediterranean into a living network. It transformed distance into opportunity and turned the sea from a barrier into infrastructure. As the evening wind fills the sail once more, the lesson of Tyre becomes impossible to miss. History is not shaped only by the kingdoms that built the tallest walls. It is also shaped by the people who connected worlds that had once been isolated from one another. The most enduring revolutions are not always made of marble. Sometimes they are carried in cedar halls, written on fragile papyrus and spoken in the language of trade. You place your hand on the rail as the ship turns toward open water. Behind you glows the harbor. Ahead lies the darkening Atlantic, the unknown frontier that later ages will fear and chase in equal measure. You sail toward it without needing a monument, because your civilization has already learned the greater art, not how to dominate the earth, but how to bind it together.